Have you ever been yanked straight into that quiet moment when your birthday is creeping closer? Someone looks at you with curious, eager eyes and asks in an excited voice, "So what are you planning for your birthday this year? How are you going to celebrate?" You reply with the calmest tone, "Nothing at all. It's just another ordinary day like any other." Suddenly, the air freezes. Your friends stop and stare at you with worried expressions, as if you're hiding some deep hidden wound. Your family shakes their heads in disapproval, saying you're being difficult and unreasonable. Society acts like if there are no flickering candles, no towering cake, and no radiant smiling photos posted online, then something must be seriously broken inside your soul. But what if nothing is actually wrong with you? What if you're simply more evolved than anyone gives you credit for? Psychologists have studied this phenomenon deeply. Their findings reveal far more about the people judging you than about the real you. This video was made exactly for you, whether the reason is a lingering sadness, quiet maturity, or something even deeper and more mysterious. Stay with me through every second. We can peel back the layers of emotion together. From initial curiosity to profound empathy, then rising tension, and finally an explosive realization that makes your heart tremble. Let's begin with the group nobody dares to talk about. Those who stopped celebrating birthdays not because they freely chose to, but because life had brutally taught them never to hope again. It was back in 1967 when psychologist Martin Seligman uncovered something alarming. He called it learned helplessness. When someone endures repeated disappointments with no control over the outcome, their brain gradually stops trying. Not because they are weak or lazy, but because they are smart and efficient at protecting themselves. Birthdays for them are essentially a prediction error machine. Here's the science behind it. Our brains run on constant predictions. Neuroscientists like Schultz, Diane, and Montague proved that the dopamine system doesn't just react to rewards. It is far more sensitive to the gap between what you expected and what reality delivers. Picture this: you're still young and full of fire. You anticipate a lively party with bright laughter and sparkling lights. You hope your friends will remember and make you feel truly special, like a star in the universe. But year after year, those expectations shatter without explanation. Your brain starts calculating and stops predicting any reward. It stops flooding you with dopamine. Eventually you stop caring. Not because you don't want to, but because your brain decided that hoping hurts more than simply forgetting. Like the young man many of us can easily see ourselves in. He grew up with birthdays repeatedly overlooked. Friends were busy with their own lives. Family was caught in the grind of work. The birthday room echoed only with the ticking clock and heavy silence. He sits alone with a cup of cold coffee in his hands. His heart tightens with each beat. But slowly he whispers to himself, "It's just another day." That sentence wasn't born from indifference. It was forged from thick layers of scar tissue. That calm isn't coldness. It's armor worn thin from years of self. Yet not everyone who skips birthdays carries such deep scars. The second group looks completely different on the surface. They forget their own birthday not because of pain, but because their brain is juggling 17 tabs at once. Psychologists call it time blindness. It's more common than you think, especially among young people chasing careers and self-growth. When you're immersed deep in an important project with burning deadlines demanding every ounce of focus, life feels like nothing but endless meetings, flooding emails, and creative ideas swirling nonstop. Days and weeks blur into one abstract mess. Your calendar looks less like a schedule and more like chaotic modern art. Here's the key. These people aren't avoiding their birthday or suppressing any feelings. Their brain simply files it under not urgent, right next to that dentist appointment rescheduled 4 times and that endless to-do list that reads like an unfinished novel. It's not that they don't care about themselves. It's that they care about so many other meaningful things. One single day quietly slips through their fingers. Does that sound familiar? Like the young woman working in a creative field in a bustling city. She sits in front of her computer screen from early morning until late night. Her fingers fly across the keyboard while her mind spins with fresh ideas. The clock strikes midnight and she doesn't even notice. her birthday arrives and leaves in the quiet emptiness of the office. Only the click of the mouse and her steady breathing remain. She feels neither lonely nor regretful, because her heart is filled with motivation from small daily achievements. She cares about her own growth through work and meaningful connections, rather than through one marked day on the calendar. And then there's the third group, those who neither forget nor feel hurt. They look at the entire concept of birthday celebrations with calm detachment. They simply say, "I'm good," not out of coldness or loneliness or any need to prove something, but because they genuinely don't need it. If that resonates with you, here is the science. Psychologists Ryan and Deci spent decades studying self-determination theory. One of their core findings is that the most psychologically healthy people are those whose happiness comes from within, not from external events, not from social rituals, and definitely not from a song you never asked 30 strangers to sing to you in a restaurant. They have recognized what researcher Philip Brickman called the hedonic treadmill, that endless cycle where you chase the next celebration, the next career milestone, the next external hit of happiness, yet it never quite delivers as promised. People in this group have bravely stepped off that treadmill. They are not missing anything. They have simply stopped outsourcing their joy to the outside world. Pause for just a second and think about that. While everyone else waits for one day a year to feel special, these people have learned how to feel whole and complete on any random Tuesday, with a hot cup of tea and a favorite book. Gentle wind brushing through the window, carrying an oddly peaceful feeling. But not everyone reaches this quiet peace easily. Let me paint a vivid picture for you. You're only 8 years old. You've been counting down the days and hours for weeks. Your heart is pounding with excitement as you open your eyes that morning. You eagerly told every friend at school about the upcoming party. In your young mind, you pictured colorful balloons floating everywhere, the sweet vanilla scent of cake filling the air. The moment everyone gathers just for you. Then the day arrives, and the house falls into strange silence. Perhaps the people you hoped would come never showed up. Perhaps someone completely forgot. Perhaps the whole event felt smaller and flatter than the grand version you built in your imagination. You didn't cry where anyone could see. You simply swallowed the tears and quietly lowered your expectations a little. The next year you hoped for less, and the year after, even less. Most people don't know that researchers at Johns Hopkins discovered something important. Our brains don't just remember painful dates. They relive the exact emotions every single year. It's called the anniversary effect. The calendar moves forward, but the brain stays behind. That 8-year-old is still inside you, waiting for something that never arrives. The memory cuts like a soft knife each time the date returns. But here comes the plot twist that flips everything. Not everyone who skips their birthday does so from a place of inner strength. Psychologist Jennifer Crocker at the University of Michigan studied contingencies of such. She found that some people disconnect from celebrations not because they are free, but because they are afraid that if they allow themselves to want it and it doesn't go perfectly, it will confirm something dark they already suspect about themselves. So they opt out not from confidence, but from this distinction matters deeply. There is a real difference between someone who truly doesn't need the party and someone who desperately wants it but refuses to admit it. Like the story of the young woman building her career. She always avoids every invitation to celebrate her birthday, because deep down she fears that if she organizes it and receives only silence or half-hearted wishes, it will feel like a blade confirming she isn't worthy. That strong outer shell is actually hiding a fear that gnaws at her soul every day. This is exactly the part that confuses so many people. When you don't need a birthday to feel valuable, it makes those around you uncomfortable. It directly challenges their assumption that everyone needs the same things. That celebration is universally required, that you must want the cake, the noisy attention, and all the fuss. But people in this third group have already answered that question for themselves long ago. They don't need a calendar to remind them they matter. They don't need 30 people singing off-key to feel loved. They already know it in the depths of their heart. We were all raised with the lesson that celebration equals care and love. That if you don't make a big deal out of your own birthday, then something must be wrong with you.
thế giới sẽ
But
quên
what
mất
if we
sự
have
tồn
been
tại của
measuring
mình.
the wrong thing
Nhưng hãy
all
để tôi
along?
nói với bạn điều
What
này.
if the truest
Bạn không
form
cần
of
phải hét lên để
self-love
được lắng nghe.
isn't throwing
Bạn
a
không
grand
cần phải rực
party,
rỡ như pháo hoa
but
để được
simply
nhìn
not
thấy.
needing one at
Sự
all?
hiện diện của bạn,
Perhaps
dù
right
tĩnh lặng
now
như một ngọn
someone
núi,
watching
vẫn
spent
có
their
sức nặng
last
của riêng
birthday
nó.
completely alone.
Bây
Not
giờ,
because nobody
hãy cùng
cared,
tôi bước ra khỏi
but
những định
because
kiến
the
chật hẹp
silence
của văn phòng,
finally felt
của
enough
những bữa
and
tiệc,
strangely
để nhìn cuộc
peaceful.
đời này bằng đôi mắt
Gentle
rộng lớn
wind
hơn.
through the
Trong
window,
triết học đạo
a
gia,
warm
Lão
glass of
Tử có
water
một
in
hình ảnh
hand,
ẩn dụ tuyệt đẹp về
and a
nước.
soft smile
Nước là
on
thứ
their
mềm mại
lips.
nhất, tĩnh
If
lặng
that
nhất.
is you,
Nước không
then
tranh giành
please
với
know
ai,
you are not
luôn chảy
broken
về chỗ
in any
trũng mà
way.
người đời chê bai.
You
Nhưng
belong
nước
to a
lại có sức
quiet
mạnh
tribe
bào
of
mòn đá
people
cứng,
who don't
cuốn
need
trôi mọi vật
anyone's
cản.
permission to
Người
feel
hướng nội
whole and
chính là
strong.
nước.
But
Xã
just
hội
to
tôn
be
sùng
sure,
lửa, sự nhiệt
here's
huyết,
the gentle
bùng nổ,
reminder.
ồn ào.
You are
Nhưng thế giới
completely
này sẽ ra
allowed to feel
sao
this
nếu
way.
chỉ toàn là
And if
lửa?
this
Nó
video
sẽ thiêu
found you
rụi tất
today,
cả.
it was
Thế
no
giới cần nước
accident.
để làm dịu lại,
Perhaps that
để
is the
nuôi dưỡng
deepest
sự sống
insight
từ
of
sâu bên
all.
trong lòng đất.
Nothing was
Sự
ever
im
wrong
lặng
with
của bạn
you.
không phải là